I'd actually always resist, going over to Capitol Hill. I had opportunities to go work in Capitol Hill offices, and I had resisted that because I believe in the power of advocacy outside. And I know the challenges that we face, but I know that in my office, and part of it is because of the way I ran my race and with the support of so many people around the country, that when the door is knocked on and ordinary people walk into the office, or they represent workers and women and environmental groups and all the things that I feel passionately about, those are people I want to meet with. And I just have every confidence that if in my election beating then an 8-term incumbent, if we can do it there, we can do it in congressional districts across this country, and the people can take the country back. And I truly believe that, and I'm not saying it's not a little daunting being in there, with those other 430 some odd folks, because it is. But I think it's important to know who you are, and important to be grounded in your community and to stand up for what you believe in. And I happen to live in a congressional district with people like Karen who say, Donna, if you vote against that war funding, that's okay with me. If you vote against FISA, that's okay with me. If you support universal health care, that's okay with me. And so I'm proud to stand up for my congressional district and proud to stand up for people in my district, but also people across the country.
Now, it wasn't an entirely pleasant fight. There were some nasty things said about you, and you figured out how to fight back. To those who are running today, what's your advice? Do you take the grief, fight, what?
You just keep fighting. When I was challenged, and I was attacked very, very personally because I had struggled in my life, and I'll just be very, candid about it. I had struggled financially, taking care of my son as a single mother and doing what I needed to do for him and to take care of my household. I had, in January, just before I was elected on February 12th, I had just finished paying off more than $100,000 in student loans. Well, I can tell those stories because those are the stories of the American people. Those are the stories of the people of my congressional district. And you know what? People said, you attack her like that, and guess what? We're going to vote for her in overwhelming numbers and send her right on to Congress, because we need people in the United States Congress who understand what it means to get up and go to work for a living every day. I don't have to tell this audience, we have a serious problem, particularly in the mainstream media. The continued focus on the sort of, the celebrity, and don't read anything into that word, and the focus on, things that are just really not important in people's everyday lives. And a lot of us are turning to other forms of media, to alternative media for our information, because, it's just a clearer pathway to the truth. And I think that that's what's happening with our young people, and we have to figure out different ways of communicating with our young people. I mean, I know that, through our campaign, we use text messaging, and, we're on the internet, and we're using the, the blogs, and we're trying to communicate with people in just a different kind of way. And, and frankly, if I had to depend on the mainstream media, I don't think I'd be in the Congress today. I had to circumvent that with your help and go to the alternative, and we can do that for our young people. And I do want to say, Laura, as we close here, that on, civics education, I go into schools all the time, and what's happened under No Child Left Behind, which is something that we're going to have to visit over this next year, is that we've actually reduced the ability of teachers in classrooms to focus on things like civics and social studies and things that form whole people, and not just people who can check off a box on a test. That's not where the 21st century is.